Fireside Hearth and Home Shop, serving 2 locations, Murphy, North Carolina, and Blue Ridge, Georgia.
Stephen here with Fireside Hearth and Home Shop, and today we're at our Blue Ridge location, and I wanted to share with you a little bit about the Fireplace Xtrordinair 564 25K. This is one of our best-selling units here, and basically it is a 36-inch direct vent fireplace. Now it's called the 564, and the reason why they call it that is it actually has 564 square inches of glass that you see here, but again it's considered a 36-inch unit. The unit comes 2 different ways. Here is what they call the traditional unit. It actually has an arched face on it. You can actually get about 12 different faces for this unit, from arches to rectangles to doors, so you can really kind of cater it to the room look. But it also comes in what they call a clean face unit, and what that means is it doesn't have any face here at all. It actually would have a trim that you can get as an option to go around just around the glass, and you can actually rock up to the unit to give it that more traditional, say, rocked-in fireplace look. Now, this particular unit has what they call tempered glass, which means that it has more of a lower heat output. This will heat more in, say, the 9 to, say, 1,000 square foot zone. But it does come standard with a blower, and it also comes standard with this remote control. Now, this remote control is one of my favorite parts besides the look of the fireplace. Now, what makes this remote so unique is how it will control different features built into the fireplace. And it isn't a remote that's going to intimidate you either. There's just a few buttons. And this bottom button here is actually going to light up little icons on the bottom of the screen. And what I'm about to do is kind of walk through those icons, because those icons allow you to change different settings on the fireplace. So let's kind of jump into that, and I'll show you the different features built into this. One of them, the flame itself that you see here will actually move up and down via the remote, and you can actually change this flame height 7 different levels, and you'll actually start to see it go down, which is kind of neat. So you can adjust your heat output with this part of the remote. The second button I push will allow me to actually adjust the speed and turn on the blower. I'm going to go ahead and bring it all the way up to 7. You can actually do this 7 different speeds. Here you hear it a little bit, so what I typically do is bring that blower down to about the middle, and it gives you a nice blow, but it's not overwhelming you with any noise at all. I'm going to go ahead and turn that blower off and push a couple buttons to do that. Again, you can actually adjust the speed of that blower 7 different levels. Now, I'm not sure how the camera's picking it up, but there's actually lighting built into this fireplace. It actually is lighting the unit itself. And from the remote, you can actually adjust the brightness or turn off that light. Now, what I like about this light is that even when the fire's not going, you can actually have this light on, so you can almost leave it as like a night light if you have it in a bedroom or an area that needs some extra light at night. The unit also has built into it what they call a dual burner. There's actually a front burner and a rear burner, and from this remote control you can shut off that back burner, so you see that back flame disappear. Now, what is also unique is you still can lower the flame just from that first icon that I spoke about, where you can even get the flame lower if you'd like. I'm going to go ahead and bring that flame back up. So again, you have a lot of control. The unit will do in that 9,000 square foot range, 9 to 1,000 square foot zone at an 8-foot high ceiling. But you can actually lower the flame like I just did, or turn off that back burner to really adjust your heat output so you'll never get overheated. Now, the other thing that's built into the unit is what they call an Ember-Glo burner, or it's basically a lighting system that's in the base of the unit. I'm going to kind of point to it here as they kind of zoom in. It's actually at the bottom down here, and you can actually turn that light off and on. Now, you just seen it kind of go dead. I'm going to bring it back up. It's a little hard to see in the camera, but it just adds a little bit of a different look to the fireplace. Makes it look a little bit more realistic. But this remote also has a thermostat built into it. Now, what's unique about this is, of course, the remote you can just mount on the wall, Or you can carry it around or even put it at the coffee table where you're sitting, and wherever you are is where it's sensing the room temperature. It's a typical thermostat. Set the room, say, at 70 degrees, and it shuts off, comes back on, when it cools down a couple degrees, and, just keeps that cycle. But it also has what they call a smart thermostat, and this is what I use in my house. I actually have this kind of remote in my house. The smart thermostat, what it will do is if you set the room at 70 degrees, as the room is warming up, we'll just say somewhere around 66, 67 degrees, the remote will automatically start lowering the flame. So you'll see that flame actually move up and down depending on how warm or cool the room is. So it kind of takes it keeps the flame going, which is nice. A typical thermostat wants to shut off all the time, but it also keeps the room more even on heat. Now, if it does hit its number, the 70 degrees, we'll say, it will shut off. But what else is nice about that is it's using less fuel when it's doing that, so it's saving you some money. And speaking of fuel, this particular unit also has what they call an IPI system, or a lot of people will call it a pilotless ignition. Now, technically it has a pilot, but what it does is each time the unit starts, either from the bottom of the unit, because you can actually control it from there, or the remote, it will actually start the pilot for you and then operate the system. Now, what that means is when you're not using it, the pilot isn't running, so you're saving fuel, and that fuel will add up because it's up to about a gallon a week that a pilot will operate or not use if it's not being used. So that's a great feature. Again, here we have the French country face. I mentioned you can do 12 to 13 different faces from arches to rectangles, but on the inside we have the sandstone, basically a straight brick, but you can do herringbones, you can do used bricks, more of a Chicago-ish red brick, you can do ledge stones. You have a lot of choice, and even stucco looks, so you can really tailor it. We're also showing here the classic oak log. It also has an optional birch log, so you can really, again, tailor this to many different needs. Now, it's perfect for a bedroom or a small living room or even a kitchen even, so it is a great option for smaller areas. This is the Fireplace Xtrordinair 564 25K.